All right. It says we're streaming live. We'll see. This is my Zoom call for Thursday, April 9th. I'm going to go ahead and turn off the volume here. And I hopefully will have some folks join me on this Zoom call so we can have a conversation around social media for small businesses. And if nobody jumps in, then I'll just turn this off and delete this chat on YouTube so you'll never have to see it. And hopefully you won't have to worry about it. And then we'll try again next week. Let's see, I got a couple of emails here. Yeah, nothing important. All right. My name is Joey McGirr. I don't know where to look, but if you have any questions about social media for your small business, I have been doing this for over 10 years now professionally. I've been online using social media to connect with people since 1997. So over 20 years, 23 years now. So if you have any questions about how to use this stuff, please feel free to chime in, ask your questions, let me know what you need, and we will have a frank conversation around what I know and have seen that works. And hopefully some other friends of mine who are savvy in this space will also join us and share their insights as well. That's the plan anyway. Let's see if we can't make this happen. All right, so we're on Zoom, we're on YouTube. I have no participants. We're 3 minutes away from the top of the hour or the bottom of the hour, wherever you start at. I guess you start at the bottom and you move your way up. That sounds about right. All right. Interesting. I'm practicing with OBS Studio Lab to see if I can figure out how to use that to do interviews and whatnot. So here we go. I can move that there. And nice. That works good. Okay. I don't know how to send that signal out on YouTube yet, but we'll get there. We'll figure it out. In the meantime, I'm just going to keep an eye out for folks who want to join. Can you still hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Oh, that's much better, but it's so echoey. Let's put it down there. Okay. All right. Well, it looks like I'm not going to be all alone after all. Hey, Dan.
Hey there.
How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing well.
It's been so long since I've seen you.
It has been a long time. Ordered me a new light.
You did. Are you unboxing it right now?
I am. Whee!
This is like one of those fancy unboxing videos.
Yeah. Let's see what I got here. It's a ring.
Okay. Yeah, ring light. That's great. Oh, that's nice. Yeah.
Well, the only thing is, I don't know, you know my situation. So I'm staying at Wanda's house. I'm not in my apartment where my desk is, which I miss terribly because it's a nice stand-up desk. It's a big desk. And I'm at a little tiny desk in a bedroom. And I don't know where I'm going to put this light. But anyway, I got it.
Yeah.
But at home I have much better light. Got all kinds of light that I can use. But
probably more space too at home.
That's it. Yeah, I've got a space issue.
Yeah, I got one of these little tiny ring lights. It's only about this big. It clips onto the end of my phone. It's pretty bright. It's battery powered, but it works pretty well. I don't use it too often, only when I'm out remote. But yeah, the one you got there, that's like studio quality.
This might give me a tan.
Got to make sure you check the warning on there for radiation burns if you get too close to it. How does that work? Is it USB? Does it plug into the wall?
Yeah, it's USB, which I don't know about that.
Does it come with a stand?
It does modes. It comes with a stand.
Nice.
It comes with a little box of different things. It does have, yeah.
Well, you've been doing a lot of your stuff outdoors. I was looking for some news earlier today, actually. I meant to message you and tell you about this. I was looking for a link that I had seen in a Facebook group, one of many that I'm on, about it was a link to a site that gave you really good, not just the data that shows where we've come, but the computer forecasted models for when we peak and how it should come down. And I couldn't find it for the life of me. So I searched, you're going to laugh. I searched COVID Williamson County on Facebook. Yes. And guess what I saw?
Did something come up for me?
Yeah, I saw Dan Forbes. I saw a bunch of your videos of you talking about the real estate forecast and everything. Yeah, well, I mean, we're friends on Facebook, so that makes sense. But but that doesn't mean that anybody else who's not connected to you isn't going to see the same thing if they search the same thing. So yeah.
Right. Well, that's why we do it. And I do have some questions about that I wanted to ask you about.
Okay, well, we'll give everybody else a few minutes to jump in here, and then we'll go ahead and if nobody comes along, it'll just be you and me, and we'll cover whatever you want to talk about. And if other people's join, then
yeah, that's good.
All right. Yeah, I have not been really promoting this in any of the other groups that I'm in, only because I want to be respectful of you and the other individuals who take the time to curate those groups. But it just came out naturally this morning when I was talking about what I was doing with my week. And so, but yeah, it's been a nice way to see people, connect with people. But yeah, try to be helpful, try to give it away where I can. Yeah. It's not easy.
Yes.
And you're doing the best you can by, giving away your knowledge and experience and hoping that if it doesn't come back immediately, at least it'll come back around, after this whole thing sort of.
Well, that's it. And I'm doing so many videos and stuff right now. Whoa.
Hey, look at that.
We have liftoff. Now, the thing is, it's high, but let me test this. All right. So there's the ring light. Here's a desk light that I've been using.
Okay.
Desk light. All right, desk light.
Okay.
Desk light off.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, you're too backwashed from that. Yeah.
Ring light, that's better.
That ring light, yeah, that's nice.
It's better. Now, if I was standing up more level with it, it probably, well, I can't contort. I can't contort. And then there's other
Can
levels.
you bring it down any?
Well, see, it's on that stand. If I could, that's what I would like to do. I'd like to bring it down.
It's a nice shot of your crotch there. I like
Then I
that.
don't. Oh yeah. Then I don't. Got a little bit of room for my light. And then there's two other modes. There's of types of light.
Yeah, that's nice.
What's this one?
Okay, I don't like that one.
I'll probably have to actually read the instructions. That's the last
lighting.
thing. That's the last thing I do is read the instructions.
Lighting and sound are the two things I've always been challenged by the most. So, I mean, I have this huge microphone and sometimes I put it right here, but if I'm recording for a podcast or something, I'll move it really close and turn the gain way down. But yeah, I've always been challenged by those two things. I've made a living as a professional photographer, and you would think that I would understand lighting and how to use it well. I just
well, sound's the other thing too, because this is all I'm using for sound.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Sounds great.
Does it?
It sounds a lot better than other people I've had conversations with, in these Zoom calls. The microphones are real close to, it's almost like a lapel mic when you wear it like that, right? So, and Apple obviously excels at high quality product.
Well, here's the challenge. I used to, before I got the new iPhone 10X, whatever, I was using a lapel mic, wireless. No, it wasn't wireless. No, but it had a long cord on it, but I used a clip-on lapel mic, and I really liked it because I had a 25-foot cord. Then when the new iPhone came out, it wouldn't plug in anymore. So I've been, like with you, I'm just plugging into this into my laptop with the old-fashioned like that.
All of a sudden the audio changed.
And then so I switched the videos that I make with my phone. I'm just letting the telephone mic pick it up because I don't, that unless they've come out with it now, there was no adapter that seemed to really work for it. So I'm outside, or if I'm inside, I've got a tripod that I put the phone in when I'm in my apartment, and I've got artwork behind me. When I'm outside, I'm just holding my arm up there and doing it. I'd like to get more into building up my YouTube channel. I've got 108 subscribers.
Okay.
I was stuck at 99 forever. And just recently, because I've been putting out more content, I picked up 9 subscribers, and I'd like to get my YouTube channel. I'd like to get more subscribers on my YouTube channel. My question for you, couple of questions. I've got lots of questions probably. Is when so thinking about using Facebook, using my YouTube channel, what I have been doing is I'll do a Facebook Live on my personal profile on Facebook.
Okay.
I also have a business page on Facebook, and I wrestle with trying to figure out which place I should do the live. Should I do it on my personal profile, which is what I have been doing, or should I do it on my page? Now my page has, I'm trying to see how many people I have, I'm trying to see where is it that I see? Oh, I have 300.
Just scroll down a little bit. Yeah.
I have 357 followers on my page, 357. On my personal profile.
Mm-hmm.
Move this over. Clicking on it now. I've got 1,199, so 1,200 people on my personal profile. So I would assume that I should go live on my personal profile, and then do I share it to my business profile, or do I download the video and upload the video on my business profile? Anyway, that's a
Good question. So let's start with that, and then we'll get to, I'm sure many other questions will come as we get going. And if ideas come to mind, don't hesitate to stop me and throw them out at me. So when it comes to where you share your Facebook live videos on Facebook versus, from profile versus your page, considering that your profile has so many more, you also have to take into consideration your privacy settings on your profile versus your the privacy on your Facebook page, which is pretty much public, right? So that's one thing.
And my personal profile is public.
It's public.
I don't put anything on there that I wouldn't care that anybody in the world could see.
Yeah, and I could see that. I'm looking at your personal profile. Say that again. I could see on your personal profile. That's right. Your last post has the little globe next to the time marker on there. So it's showing that all of your content is public. And that's fine. So you're essentially using your profile as your page. Now, your profile has certain limitations. For example, if people start to send you friend requests and you accept them, it stops at 5,000.
Yes.
Whereas your Facebook page doesn't have that limitations. The other thing is your profile will tend to get more visibility simply because Facebook's inherent design is for people to connect and to share information. It really limits Facebook pages. Not as an admin of your page, I can't see this, but I can probably guess that your Facebook page posts where it shows you the amount of people that saw a post is much smaller than the 300 or so folks, the 357 folks that like your Facebook page. It might be in the 30s to 50s, which is 10%, creeping up to 20% of your audience, which is very, very small. It might even be in the teens. It might be at 100 or 150, but it's not. It's probably very unlikely that it's around 300 or more consistently. Now, videos tend to get a lot more visibility, which is great because Facebook wants you to spend more time on Facebook, right? There's two things that Facebook wants more than anything. They want you to stay on Facebook, and they want you to not go anywhere else.
Yeah,
those two things. And so if they can keep you on Facebook longer, they can keep you off of other places on the internet. And if they can keep you from leaving Facebook, they can keep you from going other places on the internet. So when you do a live video on Facebook, they have this inherent advantage of, hey, if we can get people to see this, great. And the other thing is if you do it from your profile, they will share it with your friends, right? There'll be a notification for certain friends. Hey, Dan's live right now. Go check out his video right now. Now, a couple of variables. One, those people have to be pretty well connected to you. Not everybody's going to get that notification. Number two, they have to be on Facebook at that moment that you're going live. Now, in certain percentage of the people that like you are. The other thing is once the video is over, it makes a video recording of the live so people can go back and watch it later on. I don't really have any data or statistics that show how many people go back and watch a live video after it's published. It might depend on the content, depends on the creator and their influence. But I'm sure that if the subject, it's just like a video on YouTube or anywhere else on the internet, if the subject line is right and the video is of the right length, people are going to go watch that post.
Yeah, and most of my views are that way because, I mean, one I did 2 days ago was only 1 minute and 68 seconds long because I'm not on there live enough. Even the one yesterday and today, which are about 5 minutes long. So yesterday I did one, and it's the one about apartment renters. Can't see how long it is. I guess it's, that was only 1 minute and 50 seconds. It's had 22 views. So I'm rarely getting into April 7th, there was 27 views. April 6th, 27 views.
Yeah.
So
that's about what I expected. Less than 10%. Yeah. Yeah. It's really uncommon for pages to get a lot of visibility. Now, here's an advantage you can have.
Now, this is personal.
This is your profile. This isn't your page.
Yeah.
And you're only getting 22 views, but you have 1,100 people that you're friends with on Facebook.
Yeah.
Now, let me stop you for a second and talk to you a little bit about that data. Facebook will manipulate data in order to get you to spend money. Now, posting it to your profile means you don't have the option to boost it, right?
Right.
So they're probably showing you that to incentivize. They've done the data, they've done the homework, they've read the numbers, they know, and they talk to the psychologists, experts that know that if they do this to you, if they, Facebook's not showing you everything, and everything that they do show you has an intention. They're like that person, you would never really refer to them as a friend because you just know how manipulative and malicious they can be. And so them, maybe they're a cousin, maybe they're somebody from church, but they're always, backstabbing people. So you would never really consider them a friend, but you just know them well enough to know that they're going to do that. Facebook is that friend, and they're going to use every bit of information they can to their advantage to take advantage of the situation, to manipulate you into wanting to spend money on ads. So they're probably doing this. I don't have any actual data, but I have enough experience to know that Facebook is doing this with the intent to steer you toward posting this on your profile page so that they can continue to manipulate you into spending money on boosting that.
Yes.
I have done recently, I worked with a politician who was running in March for Travis County Commissioner. And what we did, we experimented with this. We posted content to his profile and shared it to the page. And we posted content to the page and shared it to his profile. And what we found was that the content that went to the page first and then went to his profile, he shared it to his profile, his wife shared it to hers, their friends and neighbors shared it to theirs. It actually got more visibility. So it's something that I would encourage you to experiment with. Is the next time you do a video, post it to your page, share it to your profile, share the link, hit the share button and share it. Then the next time, go to your profile and share it to the page. And just kind of look at the data and the numbers and see where you get best results. I bet you're going to see best results by posting to the page and then sharing it to your profile. And what's nice about that is you can private message me, you can private message the Scotts, you can private message Gary, you can private message Brian. There's so many people you can private message just to say, hey, I think this content's really meaningful right now. There's some new data, people need to know about this. It might be about PPP, it might be about, we hit the peak, whatever it is. You ask us to hit the share button and you're going to see a lot more visibility. And that traffic then is going to go back to your Facebook profile, to your Facebook page for your business, which is going to help benefit you in the long term as you're trying to grow audience and influence there.
Yeah, because I'm looking on my page here now. So here's one, 122 people reached. That was March the 20th. And let me see, trying to see. It doesn't say Dan Forbes published by Dan Forbes. So let's see, let me go back to March the 20th on my.
It's probably because you're the admin on there. It's telling me which of the admins has published it.
Got it. I'm trying to figure if I did it on my profile and then shared it to my page. Let me go back.
Yeah, I like that you're going outside. That's the color there is so much better than Nick doing these at home. Now, sometimes when you did the Zoom call with Tom and Danny, obviously it makes sense for you to be in the office for that.
Yeah, and their lighting was not good.
Send them a ring light.
Yeah. Say, hey, spend $35.
Are you over in Avery Ranch?
No, I'm in Vista Ridge in Leander.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. My apartment is down near Avery Ranch. Okay, bear with me. I'm almost there.
You said March 20th was the...
Yeah, I'm at 25th.
That's the one with the water fountain behind you?
Yeah, the one with the water fountain.
Yeah.
So
let me take a screenshot and share with you. Actually, I'm going to share my screen and show you what I see.
Can I click a link and just see only my videos? Because I'm just going through my whole scroll.
Yes, if you go to over on the left-hand side, if you click on the word videos in the menu there, it'll show you just the videos that you've created.
Photos, find friends.
I'm going to be joined here by Dr. Jason Owens here in a second.
I don't see that. Anyway, I was almost there.
I'm going to show you how I see things from my perspective.
All right, that says 51 views. I still can't figure out which one I created it on. Was it the page or the?
It looks like it was created on the Facebook page. Are you showing it in your profile at all? Because it would.
Yeah, it's on my profile on March the 20th, and then it's on my page on March the 20th.
So this timestamp here might give away a little bit of an example of what you're looking for. Whichever one is this is 8:32.
All right, 8:38. All right, so 8:38 on my page, 8:43
on your profile.
Yeah, I can't believe I shared it that quickly. I might have. All right, so bottom line is, you think I should record it on my page, share it to my profile.
I think you should experiment. Yeah, okay. and I from my experience, sharing on a page, publishing it on a page originally, sharing it to a profile is going to get you more visibility. For some reason, Facebook seeing you share a post from a page to your friends means that your friends are more likely to go, oh, he's sharing some content that he found on a Facebook page, even if you're the admin of it. That's just been my experience. If you create the content on your profile and share it to the page, it's as though the Facebook page is saying, look at what this person posted on their profile. Again, I have seen it. I have seen Facebook flip-flop so many times. It causes my head to spin. So I'm hesitant to say this is the way to do it. What I want to encourage you is track somehow how you're, and this is nice because you don't have to track everything. For the next week, track, I mean, you track a lot already. I know that about you. But for the next week, when it comes to the videos, do it this way. Try a Facebook Live on your profile, share it to the Facebook page, flip it for the next video. And after 7, 8 days, 10 days, go back and look and see what you got in terms of better results. And I'm quick to say that you post a Facebook page, share a profile is going to get you better results, but let's wait till we see what the data says.
Now, what about downloading the video and uploading it to the profile instead of sharing it?
Yeah, you could definitely do that. There's many advantages to that. Obviously, you can record the video, edit it, and then publish it to either place. Again, you want to experiment with what's going to work best for you. What's interesting is you have a unique situation that I don't see very often. Most people have a lot more people on their fan page than they're friends with. Most people have 300 or 400 friends, and they have 1,100, people that like their Facebook page. You're flipped on that. So
that's because I don't know how to get people to like my Facebook page.
You can't make them. That's just the thing. And here's how you get people to like your Facebook page. Post the content to your Facebook page, share it to your profile, because a lot of people will click the link to go see the Facebook page and find out what if here's the thing. If all of your videos originated on your Facebook page, then you'd have a library there. You can even create topics and themes. You can create categories for the videos that people can then go find specific categories with regards to the history of the videos that you created, the information that you created over time. It's interesting. It's not necessarily something I picture a lot of people doing, but you never know when just the right person finds one. Like I said, your videos are searchable. I found your videos this morning. And so granted, we're connected, but that doesn't mean that other people won't find them as well by searching the same keywords. If they do, it's going to drive them to your Facebook page. If they find the content meaningful, they find you a credible source, they're going to click the follow, like, whatever, fan button, whatever you want to call it. And they're going to like your page, and they're going to continue to have the opportunity to have your content show up in their newsfeed.
Gotcha.
Does that sound good?
Yeah.
And again, it's with everything. And you're an old school business guy, and I mean that with the most respect. You know that if you ran an ad in the Yellow Pages, you'd be tracking the calls, you'd be tracking the conversions, just like you would if you're going to be creating content on social media. Track that data, but remember that Facebook's manipulating every single thing that they're showing you to get you to buy ads. I want to show you guys an example. I'm going to go ahead and switch back over. And hey, Jason, you can wave. We'll get to you in just a minute. If you have any questions, go ahead and drop them in the chat maybe, and then I can get to that. Oh, I see Dale's trying to join us too. I had my phone my screen was kind of moved over here. Let me go.
I was just thinking what you're talking about with Dan. If he does it on his business page, he could theoretically boost it for a few bucks or things like that. Something that I don't think he can do if it's a video on his personal page. Correct.
And I have
yes, we already had talked about that.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I've heard that boosting wasn't as good as creating it as an ad, as far as spending money, and I don't spend any money.
Yeah,
You
you
can
shouldn't. You
boost for like
shouldn't
$1
have to.
or $2 if you get it homed in enough, you know?
Well, and you don't want to do that specifically because once you start giving Facebook money, they turn that dial down and manipulate. What they do is you give them $1 because they'll say, "Hey, for $1 you can reach 1,000 people," and so you give them $1 and you reach 300, and they go, "Oh, but if you give us $2, you can reach 10,000 people." And I'm exaggerating the numbers, but this is how they kind of give you the screw, right? They kind of go, "Hey, $5 will reach 500
Yeah, I've got
people."
$10 credit that they keep reminding me. Oh, you got a $10 credit.
And
for
once you
boost-
use
you
it,
wanna
they
boost
just turn that dial. And once you use it, once you boost something, once you promote something, they know they got you, and so you'll suddenly go, why am I getting even less exposure than I was before? I've been spending money. Maybe I need to throw more money at them. And I can't tell you, every week I talk to some business person who says, well, I've been spending money on ads, but I seem to be getting less results the more I throw at them. And that just speaks volumes of how little they know about how this whole thing works. So I wanted to show you guys a Facebook page that I am an admin on really quick, just to kind of give you an example of how not spending money on ads can make a big difference. So my brother-in-law owns a tree care business. My nephew runs it, and for the last 2 years, I've been kind of giving him, just kind of coaching him on how to do things on his Facebook page. I haven't actually been doing anything on here myself. So they just passed over the 500 person fan mark. They haven't spent any money trying to get anybody there. Liberty Hill, Northwest Austin, tree care business. So, I mean, not sexy at all. But out of these 528 people, I just want to kind of show you some of the results they're getting here. This is a recent video that they published 19 hours ago. So less than 24 hours, 168 people, which doesn't seem all that exciting, but 346 people on a post from the other day, April 6th. If I continue to scroll down here, I just want to show you, this is Caleb. Caleb's remarkable, no doubt about it. And that is a key trait. If you're going to be creating video content or photography content, you want to have something that stops people from scrolling. But one of the things that Caleb has done is he has gone out, look at this, 476 people reached. And this is he shot the video and then he uploaded it. He didn't shoot it live on March 27th. But remember, he only has 520 something people that even like his Facebook page. 350, 202, 157. I know that eventually 192. So at some point he got a little busy and he wasn't posting as consistent as he needed to be. If we get back down into here where he was really consistent with some of his content, we're going to actually see numbers that exceed the number of people that even like his Facebook page. And so what's interesting about that is he's not really saying, hey, we cut trees. I mean, he does in this video, but this is, there's a picture of a moth. Here's a picture of them with, I don't know if you guys saw the pollen from that tree. I'll blow this up so, it's pretty allergy inducing just watching the video, right? And so they get a tremendous response. They get lots of engagement. People if he doesn't see shares, I've encouraged him, go ask people to share, ask me to share. And it's not that he's even all that careful about the content he's creating. What I've asked him to do is, and Dan, you could do this, and Jason and Dale, all of you guys can do this. When you are going about your day and you come across something that gives you goosebumps or something that kind of makes you go, wow, that's a really smart idea. That's really dynamic and unique. We're always coming across things like that and getting that juice, right? Getting that excited feeling. Go ahead and take that information, flip your phone open, and while you're feeling it, go ahead and make that the Facebook Live video. Make that the moment that you go capture, because when I'm watching it, when the general public is watching it, when your 1,100 friends or your 300 plus Facebook fans are watching you say that kind of stuff, that's the content that when they stop scrolling, it makes them comment, it makes them hit the share button, it makes them give you a reaction, a thumbs up or a love or whatever kind of reaction that you're trying to get, because you definitely want to, there's a reason why people ask for the reactions. They have the little grids where they're like, hey, vote for A or B, and one's a smiley face and the other one's a heart, and they try to drive that kind of engagement, because those signals to the algorithm that Facebook is putting together is what's going to cause Facebook to want to show your content to more people. So your videos are great, Dan, but you need to have have those call to actions that drive engagement, as opposed to just provide useful information. It's great information. Now, I don't know if you don't do that on a consistent basis because I haven't seen all your videos. You may, but it's just something to suggest. And I just wanted you guys to see. Now, what's interesting about Caleb's business, about the tree care business, I want to show you guys is this aspect of Facebook manipulating him. You could see when he posts content and the kind of reaction that he gets. Then you can see these valleys that come in between. And the thing that I always encourage people to do is, even if it's not the greatest thing you could say, if you say something great every 4, 5, 6 days, but you don't say something great every day, still say something. Post something, because you're never going to get, April 1st back, or April, 2nd back, and he's never going to get March 2nd back, and so by not putting anything out there, and you can even go grab a silly COVID meme or something about quarantine, something about isolation that makes people laugh, make them smile. By putting something in there consistently, you're not missing out on the opportunity to stay top of mind and engage with those people. And your profile is never going to give you this kind of data. You're going to see that you had so many folks see your video, but you're not going to see that in your profile about how many people actually see.
What is that you clicked on there? Is it the overview of insights you clicked on?
Yeah, I clicked on reach. So overview is one of these. Yeah. I think overview is one of the greatest things and one of the worst things that Facebook ever created. Overview is gonna totally mess with your emotions, whereas reach is gonna all it is just the raw data showing you what your reach was, what kind of reactions that you got to the content that you put out. And of course you can manipulate it by week and by month and by quarter. You can even extend that if you want to go, how have I been doing since January 1st? You could see, got it. I was showing you that content that Caleb put out that got such good, 368, 269. But if I go back just a little bit further, yeah, he's had a few spikes in the past that were been better, but I guess I got to go back further into the summer of last year when they were cutting trees. But yeah, it's interesting. Some of the things, a lot of people focus on likes, and likes are great. You want to see that number going up. This is entirely organic. You're not going to see any orange in here where he wasn't buying likes, because once you start buying likes, Facebook is going to try and manipulate you into continually buying likes. They're going to make it harder for people to see that option to engage with your page, because they're in the business of making money, not making us happy. We're not the customer.
Mine looks like a dead man's EKG. Mine is flat. I got 344, but it's just flat as a flitter.
Your new likes. So one of the things that Caleb's been doing very consistently for the last 2 years is when he goes to church and people ask him, how's business? His business is great. It would be even better if you went and liked my Facebook page. When he's in a BNI, he has everybody in his BNI like his Facebook page. He's he goes to the grocery store and somebody says, hey, Caleb, and it's his old school teacher. He says, hey, I'm cutting trees now for my dad's business, and we're doing really good. Business has never been better, and I'd love it if you went and liked my Facebook page. It's like you go back 8, 9 years ago when every business had a sign that said like us on Facebook. Well, that doesn't need to stop, and you don't really need to promote that except for when you're talking to people individually, one-on-one. Ask them to go like your Facebook page. One of the other things I want to show you that he gets, and I know you guys do this, but this is really important, is Caleb he's the only tree care business in the area with nothing but 5-star reviews. There's even a company I think called 5-Star Tree Care or something like that, and they have like a couple of 3s and 4s, right? And so he really, this is like the crown jewel of his Facebook page. All the content's great, and all, but people going in here and saying things, posting pictures. We try to leverage that as much as we can, because he could say that they're great, but when other people are going on his Facebook page, and the way he gets this is by, once he cuts the trees and they're signing the invoice, he says, hey, would you go on my Facebook and recommend us? Or would you go on Google? Would you go on Yelp? He kind of rotates through them, but he really has honed in on the Facebook, because what he has found is that certain communities, and you probably know this, Dan, they do a lot of business in Sun City. And when one person in Sun City goes and says, oh, these guys came and cut my trees and they're just so amazing, he gets Facebook private messages on his business page from people in the community who says, hey, you were at Sally's house across the street and I saw her give you a recommendation. Can you come cut my trees too? He gets business from his Facebook page because he's asking people in person to go and to engage there. It didn't happen overnight. It's taken him 2 years to get to where he's at now. But we saw that within 6 months. But again, he's also.
What are your thoughts between Facebook versus YouTube channel?
Yeah, they're both very busy places. The thing about Facebook is you tend to, like you were saying, you can engage with your actual friends there, whereas on YouTube, hard to synchronize with friends. You can actually link up with people on YouTube, but not a lot of people there having conversations and videos on a personal level. Usually they're having conversations around the content. I'm actually streaming this to YouTube right now. I don't expect a lot of people to watch it or engage with it. I'm just doing that so I have I'm recording it as well, but I kind of wanted to put a copy out there so I can quickly turn around and share a link if I feel like there's some really great dynamic content off of this. But it's one of those places where, let's talk about that, because you had talked about growing your YouTube channel. So let's pivot and talk about that, Dan. Growing a YouTube channel is kind of like, how do I put this? It's farming. You're up at 4 a.m, right? You're milking the cows. You're working hard to make sure that place grows. And there's some strategies, and obviously you can go to YouTube, strategies for growing my YouTube channel, and you can find 50,000 of them in a heartbeat. That'll all tell you all pretty much the same thing, and that is find unique ways to drive traffic to your YouTube channel, create dynamic content that people want to see and witness on your YouTube channel, leverage other influencers to help drive traffic to your YouTube channel. I know that you're in several masterminds. I don't know if you're in any that consists of other YouTube content creators. And if you aren't, maybe seek some out, because the opportunity to share their content so that you can get the law of reciprocity where they share your content. I'm sure there's a real estate agents YouTube creator group on Google, on Facebook, that you can, on LinkedIn, that you can go get involved in. And once you start to embed yourself in with that community and they start to get to know who you are, then they're likely to come around and go, hey, Dan's created great stuff. And hey, Dan, if you share my stuff, I'll be happy to share your stuff. Or hey, Dan, I'd love to interview you on my podcast, that kind of thing, leveraging other types of media in order to drive traffic to that YouTube channel. But to grow it fast and to grow it, where you have a large audience quickly is challenging. It's very hard. It requires a lot of things most of us don't have, like depth of influence, an already built large audience, a large mailing list, that kind of thing. I know a lot of influencers that over time grew large YouTube channels are now not encouraging YouTube subscribership. What they're encouraging is for people to go give them their email address, because what YouTube has done is the same thing that Facebook has done, is they're trying to now manipulate these. Even though they're paying these content creators to create content, they're showing their stuff to fewer and fewer and fewer people for whatever reason. I'm not sure, because I don't think, I'm sure YouTube's trying to get their money out of them as well, but it's just become much more challenging for them to get eyeballs. So they're trying to get people to give them their email address so that when the next thing comes along, whether it's TikTok or whatever it happens to be, they're going to try and be able to communicate with those people in a way where they own the communications channel, as opposed to letting YouTube own that communications channel and threaten to shut them down if they do the wrong thing. So how do you, Dan Forbes, go build a fast following on YouTube? It goes back to, just like with Caleb and his Facebook page, you need to let people know that it exists. You need to let them know consistently. You need to create dynamic content on there. You need to go engage with people who already have influence on YouTube. One of the things I wanted to show you guys was a really great example that you may have already seen. A lot of people are talking about it, and that is John Krasinski's Some Good News. Are you guys familiar with this?
No.
Okay, well, he's an actor known for the television show The Office. I want to go.
He's Jack Ryan, if you watch that show.
He's Jack Ryan on Amazon, and
yeah, there you go.
He's a little bit more buff than his Office days.
Yeah. And so he's got influence. He's got his skill set. He's got his talents. He's an actor. He's also a film director. He did A Quiet Place. He directed A Quiet Place 2, which was supposed to come out, I think, next month, but now has been postponed. He's actually married to Emily Blunt, who played Mary Poppins in the Mary Poppins remake, redo, sequel. But anyway, so he's home with his 2 kids and his wife, and they're quarantined, and all the productions of the shows that they're doing are on hiatus right now. And so he decided that he took his influence, Twitter account, all these people are following him because he's on TV, right? He's garnered this audience from another medium, but he decided to do something good with it. So he said, hey, we're having all this really bad stuff going on right now. Can you guys tell me if you have any good news? Can you guys hear this? Yes, no?
No.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and mute it. This is him talking about a girl who tweeted him saying that she had tickets to go see Hamilton, but because the show got put on hold because of quarantine, that she's not going to get to see Hamilton, and she's all sad. Well, here's this guy who's married to Emily Blunt, who was in Mary Poppins Returns, which also starred Lin-Manuel Miranda, who is the founder and the screenwriter and the producer, the creator of Hamilton. So he gets this little girl on a Zoom call, and while he's talking to her, he's talking about how he's better than Mary Poppins, blah, blah, blah. It goes on and on and on. Anyway, inevitably, since you guys can't hear it, I'm going to go ahead and just fast forward here. Inevitably, he gets Lin-Manuel Miranda on the Zoom call because, again, his wife was in a film with him. Obviously, they're friends. The little girl starts freaking out. He says, hey, tell you what, we're gonna take your mom and you to go see Hamilton as soon as the show comes back. And then all of a sudden, Lynn says, no, I could do better than that. He gets the entire cast of Hamilton to come on the Zoom call and sing the opening song to the little girl, right? And so, not saying that obviously we can't call Lin-Manuel Miranda up and do something like this, but we have to stop talking about the condition of the real estate. Stop talking about in Jason's case, how to live without pain, and come see me. I'll be your chiropractor. In Dale's case, stop saying, hey, we could do great things with your floor, and start creating ways to make people feel good. They're going to be much more attracted to your content. I was talking to Ryan Ransom earlier today, and he was saying, I'd love to be on your social media call, but Edward Jones won't let me do anything with social media. But imagine if Ryan created a YouTube channel where all he did was talk about good stories coming out of Williamson County. And he grew this massive audience of, tens of thousands. It doesn't have to be millions. In the case of John Krasinski, he has a 1.5 million subscribers and almost 9 million views on this video. It's April 5th. It's only 4 days old. And Ryan can go create a YouTube channel whereby he could say, hey, these are good stories of things that are happening to people in your own neighborhood. He could attract tens of thousands of people. And then he never has to say anything about Edward Jones. All he has to do is drop a link in his bio, and people are going to go, who's this guy creating such good vibes, creating such good energy in Williamson County? Oh, he's that guy that that has that really great YouTube channel that we love to go to, right? And so all that to say, and I'm glad I saved this so I can use this as an example, is that if you want to grow your YouTube channel fast, Dan, you need to create content that makes people attracted to want to see it.
Maybe I should start stripping on YouTube.
No, we don't want to see that either.
Oh.
Although you did show your crotch earlier. So, thank you for helping with my numbers. I appreciate that.
Come see Dan's crotch.
I mean, so that takes me to, there's a blog. There's a lot of bloggers have done this. Bloggers in real estate, bloggers in financials, in securities, bloggers who have flooring companies, bloggers who are chiropractors have done this for 15 or so years, more than that, right? They create these channels. There's a blog called 365 Austin or something like that.
Yeah.
365 Things to Do in Austin. That was a real estate agent who knew Austin, knew the schools, knew the churches, knew the communities, knew the events and things that went on. And she just decided, I'm going to create a website where I tell people about all the great things that they can do if they move to Austin, so that they'll call me when they need a realtor. And she, 1,000 days into it, right? She's 3 years into doing this blog. She has written a blog every single day for 1,000 years about things to do in Austin, has never repeated herself once, and realized all of a sudden that she had something more valuable than her real estate business, right? And so then she hires a team.
Yeah, it worked so well that she left real estate and just, I guess, sells advertising.
Yeah,
on her blog.
She has created
other real estate people to pay her money.
She does. She absolutely does. And real estate agents that she's made friends with that are tired of doing real estate also left the market to go to work with her to be content creators, right? So there's this challenge that we find ourselves in, like, am I a realtor or am I a content creator? Do I sell floors for a living or am I a content creator? am I a chiropractor or am I, of course, you know, Jason's so much more than
Well,
that.
you know,
He's-
and that brings up a good point. I mean, do I want 5,000 subscribers on YouTube because I post whatever, you know, interesting
Yeah.
stuff about bugs, you know,
Sure.
whatever it
Mhm.
is. Because I took a picture of a worm the other day. It got pretty good visibility on
Bugs are
Facebook.
great.
Because
The warm guy.
you know, because I like bugs. Or do I want 500 people who have an appetite for real estate content?
Yeah.
You know, which is better?
Well,
I
I
would
would say the bugs, because real estate content
The
are going to be your
bugs.
competitors, right? So bug people are going to be people that buy homes. That's my opinion.
he's not wrong.
He's not wrong.
Here's the thing. You
All right,
have
so I
to
got to
think.
rethink. I got to quit making real estate videos.
You have to think like a marketer. Where is my audience? My
Dave's
wife.
shaking his head.
My wife is your client, and you know what she does at 2 o'clock in the morning when she can't sleep, Dan? She gets on her phone on Facebook and she falls into the video hole. But she's not looking at people talking about the real estate market. She's looking at things that are unfortunately keeping her awake because she's watching it at 2 in the morning. But she's looking at things like 2 kids playing violin to a rock song that they've, you know, composed separately, you know, or something. She's looking at stuff that is of interest to her. But the thing is, if you can get your videos to align with that, you can find a way to create content that speaks to the community in a way that gets them attracted to what it is that you're showing without ever once saying that you're a realtor, so that when people go, who is the Stan guy? And they go look deeper, they're going to go, oh, he owns a real estate company, but our interests align, our geography align. And it just so happens that I'm now looking to buy or sell, and I don't really know anybody, but I know this guy who creates really great content that makes me happy. So I'm going to lean on him to be my realtor. And again, how much time do you spend creating content versus actually trying to run your business becomes very tricky. And I advocate, and I have for a long time, it should not take you a long time to create content, because you shouldn't be sitting down going, what am I going to say today on social media? You should be looking for opportunities that make you go, ooh, that's exciting, or ooh, that fires me up, and then take that content very quickly, synthesize it, stick it on YouTube, stick it on Facebook, stick it on Twitter, stick it on Instagram, wherever. And I also don't advocate for being everywhere. I would highly encourage you to stick to the YouTube and the Facebook, and I wouldn't try going after a bunch of others. But I do know that you have quite an Instagram, or no, sorry, scratch that, quite a Twitter following.
I do. I got 59,000 followers on Twitter.
59,000 followers, but they're all over the country, aren't they?
All over the world.
Yeah, but you can share your YouTube videos and Facebook videos on Twitter, so you can still capitalize on that. But that's an after effect.
Well, you can do that automatically
You
too.
said too, when you had the notepad, you're trying to manipulate emotions. Don't do that. Find random things that are in that moment, because if you don't take advantage of it, it's going to be gone anyways, like a caterpillar or a butterfly or whatever you see. Those are those random things that people want to see. You may never have that opportunity ever again.
That worm looked like a twig, and I have accidentally disturbed him and turned him over while I was making a real estate video. And then I took a video of the worm. The worm did better than the real estate video.
And you'll find that they do. They tip. And here's the secret sauce. Do that consistently every day, and you'll see a big difference in a year.
Look for the worm.
Look for the worm.
And post it on my real estate page.
Why not? Caleb posted a picture of a moth on his Facebook page, and it got incredible reach, and people had a whole conversation about mood moths on his here. Let's see if I can find it again really quick.
I also have a page that I started and only has a little handful of followers because I quit doing anything with it. It's called This Is Cedar Park. And I had thought about building a page and a following to attract relocation, buyers and so forth, and just others by featuring different things in, Cedar Park. Here's the hockey rink. There's a hockey game. Here's Torchy's. Here's what's in Cedar Park. Maybe that'd be a better route to go. I had the idea, and then how we do with ideas sometimes.
Yeah. I think it's a great idea. I own the domain cedarperk.com because I thought it'd make a great title for a coffee shop. But you know what? It might actually be, I could do something completely different with it, where it's just feel good stories about things going on in Cedar Park. So I mean, like, there's all kinds of things you can do. Dedicate half an hour, 20 minutes a day to it, but build it slowly over time, because you're not going to get skyrocketing results without having been on a hit television show or the director of a popular movie or something. You know what I'm saying? People used to come to me all the time and say, well, I want the same results Pepsi have. Well, great. Well, let's get in a time machine and go back 60, 70, 80 years, go invent a amazing soda formula, and then maybe you can have that. But if you really want to have what they have, you have to put in the time in order to create that. But it also means you have to create content people want to consume. And that's a major factor.
And Coca-Cola's biggest commercials, they're not really selling Coke. They're doing something fun and enjoyable, and there happens to be a Coke in the commercial.
It's a polar bear.
Yeah.
That's the most popular commercial, right? It has nothing to do with buying a Coke. When they do these commercials at the movie theater and they show the teenagers getting their sodas and sitting down and eating their popcorn, it makes me want to get up and get a Coke. It doesn't say, hey, Coke is great and you should drink it for all these wonderful reasons. We don't have to do that. Now that's kind of a marketing 201 level kind of a thing. But there's a lot to be said about, there's what companies are doing right now that have really smart advertising agencies. They're not saying anything about what the company does or sells. They're just saying, hey, we want to thank our healthcare workers. We want, Dan, if you really want to do something great for Cedar Park, head over to Cedar Park Regional and put on a mask and stand 10 feet away from one of the healthcare workers on their way to work who's also wearing a mask, and say, we just want to say thank you. And if there's anything you guys, hey, tell me what you need right now. I'm going to tell my audience, which is all the people that live in Cedar Park. And you know how many Cedar Park and Leander Facebook groups there are, and Nextdoor, and LinkedIn groups and Google groups and Yahoo groups. You can go get involved in all those communities and really make a huge difference just by getting into those. But the key ingredient is you have to spend some time in there. There's no automating a lot of this stuff. There's no outsourcing it. You just got to get in there and build authority, build influence, and it takes time. And then you have to create content that people are going to want to consume. If you don't do that, they just aren't going to care. And I used to work with a lady who was a realtor, Dan, and she used to do, this was 10 years ago when I was just starting out as a social media consultant, and she would say all this stuff about the market. And we used to just scratch our heads about, why isn't anybody grabbing hold of this? It's such great use. She would spend 4 hours putting together all this data that she was going to put together in a report, and then we were going to make an email out of it and turn it into social media content, and she was going to shoot videos, and nobody cared. And then as soon as we started putting out the silly memes about cats and babies and bugs and other things that people want to see, that's when she started getting traction, and that's when people started to care. And that's when we fortunately, that was also when we started to learn about leveraging other community groups, Facebook groups. Nextdoor didn't exist.
But what's the end result? Is it just more subscribers, or is it actually people then that reached out and she did business with? That's the outcome I want with my.
The outcome is what you want is people to refer you. What you want is for when people need what you offer to say, oh, I know a guy. Because here's what it comes down to today. It's just like all the networking that we do. And you know this because you're a total pro at this. All four of us know this at our core level, is that when we network, we're not looking for somebody who's ready to buy or sell a house. What we're looking for is the opportunity to connect with somebody who will like us enough so that when they're hanging out with their friend at lunch at Firebowl and they say, oh, my wife is getting sick and tired of the noise from the traffic off the toll road behind her house. Do you know anybody who could help us find a house, maybe outside on the outskirts of town? Oh, yeah, turns out I know this really great guy. He's a super helpful resource. He knows a ton of stuff about Cedar Park. I bet he knows the perfect place for you to live. And you could, Cedar Park's 60,000+ people. You could, it's a pretty large enough geography that if you just focused on creating content around things to do in Cedar Park, or the different corners, the little known secrets, the history of, I think people would find that interesting. People care a lot about this community. Go interview Corbin Van Arsdale and go talk to the people on the city council and find out what the needs of the city are and share that with the people, because nobody's really doing that. Jason, do you know anybody that's really created like a home base for Cedar Park other than maybe the community impact or any of those? As soon as he went to talk,
dabbled with it for a while and then it just kind of fizzled out. I've seen people start to do it, but they never stick with it. So
yeah. I used to own the domain cedarparkservices.com, and I was going to create a site where businesses that were in Cedar Park could tell their story, kind of in news format style. And then I was going to get on all the group pages, and because people get on the groups, all you guys see this wherever you live at Avery Ranch. I live in Forest Oaks. Wherever you live, there's an HOA group with 1,000 people in it. We have 2,000 people at Forest Oaks, and every day somebody's saying, "Hey, where do I get my clothes clean? Where's a dry cleaner? Where's a chiropractor? Where's a dog sitter? There's every day there's 12 or 20 people in there asking questions about where they can get sourced something in the community. And I thought, well, I'll go get these businesses to tell me, I'll write up their stories. I'll create this thing and I'll put it out there. And I didn't do anything with it for like 3 years. I got tired of paying for the domain. So I just stopped paying the renewal on it and it went away. And I was talking to Jeff Kickle about it. And he says, that would be perfect for T-Works. We could put something like that. We could put all of our 80 clients on there, call it cedarparkservices.com. And I went back to GoDaddy to get it. And they wanted like $2,000 for the site. So
Well, I do have the domain. This is cedarpark.com, and I've got the Facebook.
turn it on, see what happens. Give it a half an hour a day for a year. See what, you can even spend 2 hours on a Sunday night mapping out your content for the week. It doesn't have to be, really the live is the only thing you have to do that is going to be live. And like Jason's events, you can promote those, right? Like other people that that are doing your in-person meetings could be an event on that page that you can use to drive traffic, get even more people to live events once we start being able to do that again. And it could become a tremendous resource with just a couple hundred people. Years ago, I don't know if Jason remembers this, before I did the Monday morning meetup group, I used Meetup quite a bit. I had about a dozen different meetup groups before I finally gave up on Meetup altogether. But the only reason I gave up was because I didn't have time. I was swamped in business. I could barely breathe with all the business I had, which is great. It meant that my plan worked, but I should have kept it going because I owned Cedar Park Entrepreneurs, which was a meetup group. And we'd have 30, 40, 50 people meet for lunch at different restaurants around town pretty consistently. And then I just didn't have the time to keep it up, and nobody would take it from me and keep it alive. I'm so grateful that Jason has been able to keep at least some kind of weekly gathering together. And I love the book club, and I love getting to hang out with you guys once a month at your event when I can make it, Dan. But it's, absolutely turn on This is Cedar Park, and now's the time to do it. Now's the time to plant those seeds. Come fall, see what you harvest from it. I bet you'd be pretty impressed if you put a little time and energy in it. You're a sharp guy. I don't think that you have any problems creating dynamic content. You just have to remember who your audience is and make sure that you're creating it for them. And you live in Cedar Park, so you're kind of part of your audience. So you can create stuff that you love. Just remember that, it's moms and, single people and different kinds, different age groups, and see what they grab hold of. I think it'd be great. Not to mention the people that you could probably promote on there other than yourself, like the local restaurant and bar owners, the hairstylists, the people that are really struggling right now would love this. If you could get on there and just be like, this is Cedar Park. And by the way, this is Dale. And he, if you need flooring, he's amazing. And this is Jason. If your back needs, to feel better, if you're struggling and you're not getting good sleep at night, that kind of stuff. So, and that's just one corner of the whole world of This is Cedar Park. I think it's a great idea. I think it's something worth testing out to see if you can get some better results than what you're getting on the Dan Forbes real estate page, because you look just like, you look way better than most realtors out there, but a lot of realtors are really trying to do the same thing. They create a Facebook page. It's called their name, real estate or whatever. And they're just trying to get people to buy real estate from them, but they don't realize that that's not what I want as an end user on Facebook to see. I'm scrolling right on by that. But if you create content that is dynamic, speaks to me from where I'm at, lying in bed at 2 o'clock in the morning, I go, oh, I'm learning something new about Cedar Park. This is neat. I got
to there's, because I just recently rebranded my YouTube channel from Dan Forbes Realtor to Austin Real Estate Buzz.
Mm-hmm.
And bought that domain name, austinrealestate.buzz. But all it is real estate. And so I've got to think through. The outcome that I want. Do I want to narrow it towards people who are interested in real estate? That's what I've been thinking. Target people who are interested in real estate, because that's the outcome that I want. Mm-hmm. As opposed to just trying to collect a lot of people who they like bugs, they like this, they like that and the other.
Well,
And
here
maybe they'll click my about page and see that I'm a realtor and then call me from that.
Well, Dan, here's a question for you. Would you rather compete with other real estate people that are trying to promote real estate? So
Hardly
it's much more
anybody's doing
competitive.
that,
You're going
though,
to fight. It's a death
Jason.
match for every client. Or
Are they
you
doing that?
clients that randomly call you, say, you know, we're thinking about selling our house, but you do those really cool bug videos. And I just thought it was fun. And they're happy to sell their home. They're happy just to meet you. They're like a fanboy. And you know what? You're not competing with anybody because you're already top of mind.
But do you see other local realtors out there that's doing the video work that I'm doing on Facebook and YouTube? And
Not to the degree that you're doing it, but
are you seeing that?
I do see them doing, I do. I see them doing, market updates, and here's how COVID's affecting the real estate. They're not doing it to the frequency that you're doing it. You're definitely doing it a lot more than they are.
Well, right now I'm doing it daily, 5 days a week because of COVID-19, but ordinarily it's once a week.
Here's what I would suggest, putting my marketing hat on, is if you want to attract people looking for real estate, think about creating an avatar based on the people that have actually bought and sold real estate through you. You can create a picture of you can map out all those people, write down all their names, what kind of attributes do they have, where do they work, how many kids do they have, at what age range are they. You can create these psychographic and demographic data based on that. And then what kind of content outside of real estate are those people interested in? Oftentimes when if I have a client that's deals in high-end products, where we'll go look at Lamborghini fans, or we'll go look at people, if I'm dealing with somebody who sells a product specifically to entrepreneurs, we go look for Shark Tank fans, right? So we build out these avatars, these profiles of who are these people, what kind of content outside of what our client is doing are they also attracted to, so we can get their information in front of them without trying to go after the same group of people that their competitors are going after. So it's just something to consider. Yeah. And it might be bugs. I don't know.
I have to spend a lot of time looking for bugs, I think.
Well, I think bugs are an example. I don't think it's a bug show. I think that if you find 4 bugs a year, great, include them if they're really crazy looking and unique, but also look for all the other unique things. If it happens to be Blockhouse Creek and how this is a really nice, quiet place to go have a picnic, if it happens to be, whatever, place, trails, YMCA, if you could sit down and create a list of 50 things just on Cedar Park, and then every week that's going to be the theme for that week, and you just go dive into that kind of material, and don't let it consume you either, because you can easily spend 8 hours a day just trying to create content for something completely other than what you're trying to create money doing.
There was an agent out there that was doing Cedar Park Saturdays, and I thought they were very interesting videos. It was fun things to do, basically, and he was quite wacky. Yeah. And then all of a sudden it went away. So, it's like, okay, that didn't work.
Well, it probably was an acres of diamond kind of situation, right? He was whoever, I've seen Ken Renner do like 3 different things where he started out going really good. He was probably building some authority, and then he pivoted because he got shiny object syndrome, right? We all do that. So you just need to pick something and dig in until you finally hit that vein of gold. And it only happens if you keep digging away. If you give up and go find another mine to dig in, you're going to end up having to dig and dig and dig and dig. And if you give up on that before you hit a vein of gold, you just keep going in everything you're doing. This is like, why don't you slide edge this? Go do this is Cedar Park and figure out a way to go, okay, today I only want 1 fan on the fan page, but in 7 days I want 10. And in 14 days I want 50. And in
we'll get this, and I'm sorry it takes so much, but so I just Googled that to find video, Cedar Park Saturdays, Market Street Cafe and Apothecary. It's had 205,000 views.
Wow.
And yet his channel has 25 subscribers.
25 subscribers.
25 subscribers. And let's see, he hasn't posted anything uploads 3 years ago.
It's a couple of things. It could be great SEO. It could have gotten shared on something like 365 Austin. There's a lot of There's a lot of ways.
Well, I'm looking at some of his, so he had 1,000 views on one video, 1.9 thousand, 55,000. And he's got like a flamethrower. I mean, the guy is, he was just really, really wacky, but it looked like he only there's only like 5 videos there.
Yeah, but he's got 456 followers on Facebook, even though he hasn't done a video in 3-4 years.
Right. You mean personal followers, or is that a page?
A business page.
A business page.
Yeah,
Right.
and a lot of his videos have like 13,000 views and things like that on Facebook, even though he's been not around.
So I have a 14-year-old nephew. This is so funny and timely that we're having this conversation. He has been raising chickens, and the other day he got on Facebook for the first time, and he sent me a link to his YouTube channel, which is called, if I can load it up here, Lifestyle Chickens. And while we were talking, I got a message on Facebook. So I went over to see if it was somebody trying to get in the group. It didn't have the link. And it's my nephew. And he literally says, "Can you sub to me?" Meaning, can you subscribe to my YouTube channel? And that's just how he's doing it. He's going out there and he's just asking people to subscribe to his YouTube channel. He's got 17 YouTube channel subscribers, all about him raising chickens and collecting eggs. And every day he takes his iPhone or whatever, his Android phone, he walks out to the chicken coop and he films himself collecting eggs, and he's got 17 subscribers. So if he could do it, anybody could do it. All you have to do is ask for the subscribers. But yeah, I don't know why that guy's got so many views, probably because of the language in the subject line probably gets some good SEO. It could be the fact that it's been there for so long. It could have been shared on some pretty popular sites or news articles. Hard to tell, but if you don't create anything, you get 0 results. And end of the story, right? So slight edge this, Dan. Go have some fun with it. Try not to get too beat up over what's growing and what's not growing. Just try to create the next great thing that you think people are going to grab hold of. I'm a huge Dan Forbes fan, so I'll definitely check it out. I'm a big Jason Owens fan and a big, what's your name again, sir? Oh yeah, Dale.
Yeah, it looks like he was only on his Facebook page from April of 2016 to August of 2016. So he started out, but then he gave up.
Yeah. Acres of diamonds.
That's not long enough to do anything.
No.
You've got to try anything a year.
A year, maybe 2. Yeah. Well, we're out of time, but if you guys want to stick around, I can give you a little bit longer.
I got to go, but
okay.
I'll let you guys. I'm sorry I took up so much bandwidth here.
It's all good. You were here early.
Like my videos, guys. Like and share. Now what I got to do, I got to go back and I got to rebrand a whole new YouTube channel. I mean, Joey, you and I, we need to talk some more. That's what we need to do.
Let's set up a one-on-one.
Okay. All right.
All right. Bye, Dan.
Bye, guys. Good to see you.
Jason, Dale, you guys got any questions?
Oh, just me and you, bud.
We lost Dale. He just wanted to hear what Dan had to say. He didn't have any questions.
No. I mean, there's always fun ways to come up with ideas. The key is what's your end goal, and is it easy? So because you got to put a long run into it. Otherwise, it's just going to fizzle off, and then by the time you shut it down, now it has all this organic traction, and now it's you've carved out the SEO spot with Google and other stuff, and because I see that you've existed for a while, and then people just give up.
Somebody sees what you're doing, and so they start doing it too. But you've got all of this time in there, so you kind of own that. But if you stop doing anything, eventually they come in and they cut you out, right? And so you don't want to give up. You just want to hold on to that, keep doing it. But, yeah.
But yeah, I know everything else good with you.
Everything's great. Yeah, we've just been trucking along. I'm going to turn off the. I'm doing this on live. I'm going to